Yo, this your boy, the real McCoy, coming at you, man. We talking about hey, my bad. We talking about basketball, the NBA, man. Got to do a little, do a three-part installment prediction video for the season. Same thing I did for the NFL season. Doing the same thing for the NBA. The first one is going to be the teams that I believe are going to win, not win, but they're going to be in the playoffs for the Eastern Conference, and why I believe they're going to be in there. And then the second one is going to come out in about 2 or 3 days apart, whatever, something like that. And so you guys can be looking forward. Then I'm looking forward to it. Then I'm gonna do the Western Conference teams who I think are going to be in and why. And then I'm going to do a. I'm not going to do each round, first round, second round, and you know what I mean. I'm going to do the postseason and awards video in one, as far as the two teams that I think, out of 4 teams that's going to be in Eastern and West finals. The 2 teams I think are going to be in the finals, who's going to win the finals, how many games, finals MVP, and why I believe all these things, and postseason awards, Rookie of the Year, MVP, Coach of the Year, all that good stuff. The postseason and the awards is going to be one. So it's going to be East, West, and postseason and finals video is going to be all in one, because the NBA season is about to kick off in a few less than a month away, right at a month, something like that. And I'm excited for the season to kick off, and things like that. So we're gonna start off with the East, we're gonna jump right into it. First thing we got to keep in mind now is the new rule that came out as far as playoffs. That being that basically division winners, winning your division means almost nothing now. And usually if you won your division, no matter how many games you won, if you won your division, you were guaranteed one of the top 4 seeds in your respective conference, East, West, whatever. And there was an uproar. It's been an uproar. People been complaining about that for years. Some people say there's no need for divisions. Just the top 8 teams from each conference make the playoffs. So I'm gonna say the top 16 teams, no matter how, But anyway, But it was a little uproar about it last year, because even though the Clippers Spurs first round series was one of the best series in NBA history in the first round, seven game series, things like that, people were upset because I believe the Spurs won 55 games. They made Memphis won 55 games, but they didn't win the division, the Southwest Division. The Houston Rockets did with 56. And I think the Portland Trailblazers got the 4th seed or the 5th seed ahead of the Spurs, even though they only won 51 games. But they won the Northwest Division. You know what I mean? And a lot of people didn't like that, because they felt like that should have been the Spurs playing the Grizzlies in the first round. It is what it is. The Spurs Clippers series, the first round series, was a great series, 7-game series, but people didn't like that. So I think in September, something like that, they changed it and say they're only going to use division winners as a tiebreaker, as a second tiebreaker, if they can't do head to head. So it's almost completely throwing winning your division out the window. So we got to keep that in mind. Now in the Eastern Conference, you got the 3 divisions: the Central Division, Atlantic, and Southeast. And the teams I got in the playoffs, I'm about to list them. They're not in seeding order, just the 8 teams that I'm picking. Cavaliers, of course. The thing with the Cavaliers is just stay healthy. If the Cavaliers are healthy, the Eastern Conference is theirs. Here's the East. If you lose it, that's up to you. It's yours to lose. The East is the Cavaliers' own to lose. I don't see any team, Bulls, Hawks. I don't see anybody. I don't see another team that improved their roster significantly to say, yeah, we can challenge the Cavaliers. It's theirs to lose. So, excuse me. I got the Cavaliers in. Chicago Bulls, they'll be in. They'll be top 2, 3, 4 seed as usual. And they'll make it to the first, second, maybe even get to the conference finals against the Cavaliers, and they'll lose again. That's just what that's what the Bulls are. Solid, consistent playoff team, get in the playoffs. Now, unless Derrick Rose turns into his MVP form, You know what I mean? A few years ago, before the injuries, you know what I mean? So he just suffered another injury in training camp, took an elbow to the face, broke, I think he broke the orbital bone, fractured orbital bone in his face. So the injuries are starting to pile up. They'll be in the playoffs, but once again, they'll probably lose to the Cavaliers in the conference finals. Again, I mean, that's the Bulls, you know what I mean? They can't get over that hump with the roster that they have unless Jimmy or Derek or both just take significant jumps. Both of them average 25 points and something like that. And, hey, they can make some noise, you know what I mean? Definitely got the Bulls in, no doubt about that. The number 1 seed in the East from last year, the Atlanta Hawks, won 60 games. Mike Budenholzer won Coach of the Year. Their first time in franchise history going to the conference finals, even though they got swept by the Cavaliers. I've got them in. I do think they'll miss DeMarre Carroll. He went to the Raptors, things like that. I think their wings are gonna hurt them with Kyle Korver and Cephalosha. Kyle Korver spreads the floor and gives you 3-point shooting and a little offense too off the dribble, things like that, but not that much really on defense. And Cephalosha gives you a lot of defense, but not a lot of, every now and then he may pop a 3, but not a lot of shooting and not a lot of scoring. So I think their wings are gonna kind of hurt them just a little bit, and their depth. But the experience that they got and things like that, and familiar with the system, they'll be in. They could be in the conference final, second round. I can see them beating the Bulls, losing to the Bulls, but nobody's going to beat the Cavs in these. But I definitely got the Atlanta Hawks in. No, I don't think they're going to be number 1 seed again, no doubt. I do think they're going to miss DeMarre Carroll. The Toronto Raptors, they were in last year. I've got them in again this year. Lou Williams won 6th Man of the Year award for them last year. He's gone. I think he's with the Lakers now. So they're going to miss that scoring, but they got DeMarre Carroll from the Hawks. You know what I mean? Help him out. Now, Carroll is not an instant offensive spark like Lou Williams is, but he provides a little something. But they're starting to kind of build something there. This might be the year they get out of the first round. You know, they keep losing in the first round, man, to the Brooklyn Nets. Who got them? Who beat them? I can't remember who beat them. I think the Wizards got them last year in the first round. This might be finally where they finally advance out of the first round. You know what I mean? Things like that. But I think they're going to miss Lou Williams scoring a little bit. I mean, Terrence Ross could step up and be that guy. DeRozan, Mike Lowry's already, you know, he's going to be playing hard, no doubt about it. You know, doing his thing. You know what I mean? Got the Milwaukee Bucks. They were in it last year. I think the 6th seed. A very tough, I think, 6-game series against the Chicago Bulls. They got some playoff experience now. I like their defense. They got Greg Monroe from the Pistons for paint protection. A healthy Jabari Parker, MC Dub, things like that. OJ Mayo coming off the bench. They got the guy from Athens, Greece, Giannis, and to I chop names up. If you watching in my videos, I am not good with names. Giannis and I cannot say Antetokounmpo he's from Greece. He showed some potential, some flashes. He could be a very good player. I'm a little concerned about having Jabari Parker at power forward, because when he came out the draft last year with him and Andrew Wiggins, he was a tweener. Power forward, or you know what I mean, is he a small forward? But that's how they got. I think they'll be in. They got some experience now. I think they'll be in with MC Dub and those guys. I like their defense. They were a solid defensive team last year. I like their defense, man. And now they got Greg Monroe for some paint protection, things like that. I like their defense. I'm interested to see Jabari Parker. Very skilled guy, things like that. And see how he's going to come off the knee injury, the setback, and how he bounces back. You know what I mean? So I got the Milwaukee Bucks in. The Washington Wizards. The Wizards, a solid starting 5. Bradley Beal, 2 guard. John Wall. They got the Gortat and Nene at their bigs. You know what I mean? Things like that. I definitely like that. Otto Porter. I don't like their depth. I do think that starting 5, you know what I mean, that core guys, I do think they've reached their peak. A few years ago, you know, they played the number 1 seed Pacers in the second round, a very tough 6-game series, and I think that team has peaked. I think that's the best you're gonna get out of the Wizards. Good enough to get in the playoffs, but not good enough to get past the second round at best. You know what I mean? I think they peaked. So they need to add one. I think they need to add one more solid piece. You know what I mean? And that piece could be out in OKC. He was born and raised in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. Kevin Durant. I don't know. I don't know. KD could be coming to the Wizards. I don't know, but they need to add one more solid piece, or they're just gonna keep peaking, getting to the playoffs, and losing in the first or second round. I mean, that's where I see them. That's where they're gonna peak. You know what I mean? Tough second round series against the Hawks. Gave the Hawks all kind of problems, but that's their peak. That's as far as they can go. The second round, and give a second round team trouble. You know what I mean? Moving on, but that's as far as they're gonna go. Maybe KD could be that piece. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I mean? There are rumors though. I don't know. You know what I mean? Miami Heat. I like their starting five with Gordon Dragic, Dwayne Wade, Luol Deng, Chris Bosh, and Hussein Whiteside. And Whiteside, he's showing a lot of upside. They got Amari Stoudemire to add depth and size, and Josh McRoberts and things like that. Mario Chalmers coming off the bench. So I definitely like the Heat. I definitely like the Heat. The Heat could be a surprising team and get to the conference finals. I mean, the East isn't really a crazy strong like the West. You got the Cavaliers and you got everybody else. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't would surprise me if the Heat were in the conference finals. You know what I mean? They got a good mix of vets and a couple of young guys there. You know what I mean? They got some athleticism with Dragic now. The health of Dwayne Wade, you know, Chris Bosh, and his health issues he was going through. Hopefully, Whiteside can. He's a big guy. You know what I mean? He can show some development. You got Amari Stoudemire there. Don't know what's left in the knees. You know what I mean? What's left in the tank. I definitely got the Heat in, man. They're interesting, man. They're interesting. You know what I mean? To see how they play out. I like their lineup. I like the solid depth. Got experienced coach. I like the Heat, man. It wouldn't surprise me if they. I think they'll get in, but it won't surprise me if they lose in the first round. And it won't surprise me if they made it to the conference final. They're not going to win the East. To say the East is the Cavaliers to lose. But it won't surprise me if they made it that far. You know what I mean? Justice Winslow. So I'm in college basketball. I'm a Duke fan. And I like Justice Winslow. You know what I mean? The Heat picked him up. So I like their good mixture of young guys and vets, things like that. I like the Heat. Justice Winslow adds a lot of versatility, lefty, things like that. I like the Heat. You know what I mean? I think it's at 7 and it's 18. I think that's 7 teams. The Cavs, the Bucks, the Bulls, the Hawks, the Wizards, the Raptors, the Heat. Now, for the 8th seed, the 8th and final spot, I was torn between the Celtics, who were made it last year, the Indiana Pacers, and it might be a little bit biased, but I kind of like my living in Central Florida, Orlando Magic. I like my Magic, man. I was torn like Celtics, Pacers, Magic. I was like, I don't know. But then I looked at it, I saw the Celtics. I was like, good coaching there. Made it last year. They got some experience. They lost to the Cavaliers and Olynyk and the Kevin Love and the shoulder thing. You know what I mean? Whatever. Got some experience. Defense. They're always gonna play hard and compete. Defense is gonna be solid, led by Avery Bradley. I don't see enough scoring on their roster. I didn't see enough scoring on the Celtics roster. Then I looked at my Orlando Magic, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I see scoring there, but I think we're like maybe 1 year away. Maybe 1 year. I like my Magic, man. I'm not saying we're going to, go out and we could miss the playoffs. We could be in the playoffs. Either one wouldn't surprise, but I like my Magic this year. Vucevic and Oladipo, you know what I mean? I'm actually going to do a Magic video for the season if there are any Orlando Magic fans out there. I might be the only one, you know? You know what I mean? But I decided to go when I saw the Pacers roster. Paul George coming off the leg injury, no Lance Stevenson, Davey West with the Spurs, Roy Hibbert with the Lakers, Stevenson with the Clippers. But I was like, between Celtics, Magic, and the Pacers, the only franchise player there is Paul George. And that's why I decided to go with the Pacers. I think the Pacers will get in. They're going to have to fight for it, though. I think they're going to have to fight off maybe the Miami Heat. They may have to fight off my Magic. They may have to fight off the Celtics, things like that. You know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? So, I don't see the Knicks. I don't see the Nets. You know what I mean? I don't see Charlotte, anything like that. And you know, I was torn between those, you know, the Celtics, Pacers, and my Magic for the 8th spot. But I did decide to go. I was close to picking my Magic. I was close, but I think we might be 1 year away. Or we could do what the Pelicans did in the West last year. Go ahead and jump in. Got Scott Skiles now. No nonsense type of coaching experience. Coach out our young players. Coach up our young point guard, Alfred Payton. Things like that. So we got Super Mario Hezonja, adding athleticism and shooting from Europe. You know what I mean? So I was close to picking the Pacers, but the Pacers got that experience. Frank Vogel, Paul George, things like that. So I decided to go with the Pacers. So I've got the Cavaliers, the Bucks, the Heat, the Wizards, the Raptors, the Hawks, and the Pacers. And yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, so those are the teams I got in. Let me know what you guys think, man. This is the East. I'm gonna do one for the West in a couple of days, things like that. So that's who I got in, man. Let me know what you guys think, man. And I think that's 8 teams. The Cavaliers, the Bulls, the Hawks, the Wizards, the Raptors. I've got the Miami Heat, the Pacers. That's only 7. I'm missing one. Did I said Milwaukee Bucks? I think the Bucks I missed. Yeah, Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah, that's 8 right there. So that's who I don't know what the seeding, and I just know in the East it's the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's their conference to lose. It's theirs to lose. It's up to them in health. You know what I mean? It's theirs to lose. You know what I mean? Let me know what you guys think, man. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, agree, disagree, and my way off, things like that. That's who I see in. No, I do think the Cavaliers will be the 1 seed, but anybody else could fall in between. Say the Heat could be 2, they could be 8, something like that. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna do the West later and playoff predictions and all that in a few videos coming up in the next couple of days if you guys want to check that out. But so let me know what you guys think, man. I'm excited about the season, and let me know what you think, man. This your boy, the Real McCoy, man. Ready to kick it off, man. I'm out. Peace.